Let's be real. If forgiveness came with an instruction manual, half of us would ignore it like IKEA directions. Picture this. You are at a dinner party, balancing questionable hors d'oeuvres, when someone crashes into you, spittles red wine on your white shirt, and mutters, "Well, you shouldn't have been standing there. Now what? Throw the wine glass?" Burst into tears, smile and plot revenge? Forgiveness sounds great like kale smoothies or yoga retreats, but in reality, it's a tricky emotional balancing act. Everyone preaches its virtues, but is it always good? No, let's unpack why. What forgiveness is, and what it absolutely is not. Let's debunk a big myth. Forgiving is not forgetting. You are not Dory from Finding Nemo, nor should you be. Forgiveness doesn't erase betrayal or make that neighbor returning your hedge trimmer after 3 years okay. According to Dr. Everett Worthington, forgiveness comes in 2 forms. Decisional forgiveness, choosing not to seek revenge, and emotional forgiveness, truly letting go of resentment, and even wishing the person well, which takes longer. Emotional forgiveness, when genuine, leads to real health benefits. Lower blood pressure, less anxiety, and fewer stress-induced Lego injuries. But fake forgiveness? It's as helpful as pretending kale chips taste like the real thing. They don't. When forgiveness backfires like a bad haircut. While everyone and their grandmother claims forgiveness is always the high road, science politely raises an eyebrow. Dr. Wanda Malcolm, a clinical psychologist who knows a thing or two about emotional landmines, warns that rushing into forgiveness can backfire. Victims who are pressured to forgive too soon might feel invalidated, like their pain does not matter. In cases of repeated harm, premature forgiveness can serve as an open invitation for more mistreatment, like telling your toddler it's okay to color on the walls as long as it's with non-toxic crayons. Sometimes not forgiving is exactly what self-respect looks like. It says, "Hey, I value myself too much to pretend this did not happen." And no, that does not make you a villain. It makes you someone who understands that boundaries aren't just for introverts at parties. The magical, and occasionally pathetic, power of apologies. If forgiveness is a complicated dish, apologies are the seasoning. Done right, they help. Done wrong, they ruin everything. Studies show genuine apologies make forgiveness much more likely. When someone fully owns it, "I did this, it was wrong. I'm sorry, and I'll fix it," forgiveness becomes easier. But weak apologies like "I'm sorry you're upset," or "sorry if you were offended," break the forgiveness-o-meter. The public sphere is full of these failures. Recently, Spain's Catholic Church offered a vague apology to women imprisoned under Franco's regime. Survivors called it out for what it was: insincere, empty, and useless. Instead of opening the door to healing, it deepened mistrust, like slapping a band-aid on a broken leg and calling it healthcare. The Olympics of forgiveness. Forgiving politicians is one thing, forgiving personal betrayal is another. When your coworker steals your idea, it hits your dignity and trust. But forgiveness can still bring peace if done right. Everett Worthington's REACH method helps. Recall the hurt, empathize, altruistically forgive, commit, and hold on to forgiveness even when triggers resurface. Studies show it leads to better sleep, less anxiety, and calmer blood pressure, yes, even when you run into your ex at Target. But remember, forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. You don't owe coffee dates to toxic people. Forgiveness is for your peace, not their comfort. Where forgiveness goes to die. Now let's talk politics. The arena where forgiveness goes on vacation and never returns. In Washington, grudges aren't just common, they're practically currency. When politicians hold on to past grievances, entire governments grind to a halt. Yet occasionally, someone has to make the first move, forgive, and attempt a partisan cooperation, even if their colleagues would rather start Twitter wars than pass legislation. Former New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern showed the world how it's done. Following the Christchurch mosque shootings in 2019, she managed to balance public compassion with strong leadership, pushing for swift reforms while honoring victims with empathy. She proved that forgiveness and accountability aren't enemies, they're best friends at brunch. Tragedy meets grace under fire. When national tragedies strike, forgiveness often takes center stage and sometimes steals the whole show. After the 2015 Charleston church shooting, where 9 African Americans were gunned down during a Bible study, the victims' families stunned the world by publicly forgiving the white supremacist shooter. For many, this was not weakness but deep spiritual strength rooted in Black church traditions that emphasize mercy as a form of survival. Still, some critics question whether such forgiveness might allow systemic racism to continue unchallenged. And honestly, they weren't wrong to wonder. The debate reignited after the El Paso Walmart shooting, where a white nationalist murdered 23 people. During court proceedings, Yolanda Tinajero, whose family suffered directly, not only forgave but hugged the killer. Some observers hailed it as an incredible act of grace. Others raised eyebrows, warning that public pressure to forgive can unfairly fall on victims, turning personal healing into public theater. Meanwhile, in Australia, the family of South Australia police officer Joanne Shanahan faced an unimaginable choice after she was killed in a car crash. The driver responsible showed genuine remorse, and the family chose forgiveness. Their choice was not about excusing what happened, it was about reclaiming their own peace and dignity. As one might say, forgiveness is not forgetting. It's choosing not to let someone else's actions control your emotional thermostat. Social movements making it official. Believe it or not, forgiveness has gone professional. Entire organizations now exist to help people navigate this emotional maze. Australia's I4Give Foundation was created after a horrific car accident, and now hosts I4Give Day every February 1. They've even designed a 4-step method: acknowledge, accept, surrender, and voice. It's basically emotional IKEA step-by-step instructions for building peace of mind. Across the globe, the Forgiveness Project in the UK has been gathering real-life stories since 2004 and working in prisons to reduce reoffending. Their programs are like therapy crossed with TED Talks, but with actual results. Evaluations consistently show that participating inmates are less likely to return to crime and more likely to cry in front of facilitators. Science says, your doctor approves of forgiveness. If you're still wondering whether forgiveness is good for you, science has basically issued a giant thumbs up. Studies show that people who forgive experience lower cortisol levels, reduced sympathetic nervous system activity, and better cardiovascular health. Meta-analyses keep confirming what grandma always said: let it go, and you'll live longer. Less stress, better sleep, fewer migraines, and you're far less likely to flip your lid when someone cuts you off in traffic. However, as researchers point out, it's not always easy to separate the benefits of forgiveness from the simple absence of anger. Still, whether you're achieving Zen through forgiveness, or simply not giving the offender rent-free space in your head anymore, your blood pressure will thank you. When not forgiving is the right move. Here's where things get spicy. Sometimes, forgiveness is absolutely the wrong choice. Healthcare ethicists warn that forgiving without real remorse or accountability can enable more harm, especially in cases of abuse, violence, or systemic oppression. You are not a bad person if you refuse to forgive someone who's still actively hurting you, or worse, someone who never even acknowledged the harm they caused. Plenty of victims seek not just words but actions, reparations, behavioral changes, and genuine effort to undo the damage. In those cases, withholding forgiveness can be an act of fierce self-respect. Sometimes the bravest thing you can say is, "No, you don't get my peace." Forgiveness is not forgetting, it's rewriting the story. Despite the feel-good slogans, forgiveness does not wipe your memory clean. Neuroscientists confirm that forgiveness changes how you relate to the memory, not the memory itself. Brain scans show that when people forgive, regions tied to empathy light up while anger circuits cool down. Forgiveness isn't about erasing your hard drive. It's about reorganizing your files so you don't double-click on resentment every time you think about the offense. And there you have it, forgiveness, in all its messy, beautiful, complicated glory. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and smash that like, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, stay kind, stay wise, and when in doubt, maybe count to 10 before throwing that wine glass. See you soon.